Imagine a world where the most powerful brands are actually the ones you don't see, but they're the ones that you feel. That's what we're talking about today. And our topic is a really interesting one that you want to learn and you want to find out, is your brand invisible? A lot of people come to our company and they say, I don't have enough visibility. I need to be seen. I need to be everywhere. That's what everyone is saying. But I'm going to say today, maybe that is the exact opposite of what you need to do. Rather than seeking visibility, what about this new direction of invisible brands? This could be the one thing that turns your business around and makes a big difference for you at the end of this year and going into next year. And the best part about it is it's simple. It's not hard to do. It's actually a process where you're going to do less than you have to do in the past in order to have more than you had in the past. So let's dive into this topic today because I think some of you are going to get a lot out of this. And I want to make sure that you get the whole concept. So I'm going to walk you through all the parts and pieces, what it is, how it works, why it doesn't work, what you shouldn't be doing, and then the action steps that you need to take at the end. This is going to be a quick show today on Iconic TV, but don't fret. You can go down here and subscribe somewhere and join us because we come here every Tuesday, 5 p.m. Pacific, or right around there, and bring you live strategies and principles that will actually grow and scale your business from 6 figures to 7 figures in 1 year or less. So how about you? Where are you in the process? Are you ready to grow and scale? Are you maxed out? Most people, especially towards the end of the year, like, oh, I wish I would have had more leads. I wish I had more clients. That's actually the wrong question. It's not a lead problem. It's a conversion problem. Why aren't you converting these people? And why aren't they sticking with you? If people would stick with you, we have clients that stay with us 6 years. If they would stick with you that long, you wouldn't really be worried about leads. So there's a fundamental strategic underlying problem. If you feel the number one thing you need right now is more leads, had somebody say on the phone, like, over 3 years, their numbers have been going down, 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 and they're a franchise. So what is it for you that you need to do to switch? All right. So as we break into this topic about your invisible brand, it's really about a position of power, right? And life comes down to power and force. Are you trying to force your brand out there and push, push, push? Or is it powerful? It just magnetically draws people into you. If you haven't read the book by my mentor, Dr. David Hawkins, great book, Power versus Force, you'll understand some of these concepts. And not just how it applies to your consciousness, but how it applies to your business as well. So imagine this. What about in this world? We're obsessed with visibility, right? But the smartest executives are actually winning quietly. Imagine if you could do this. This is what we want to talk about today. This is not what it is, right? It's not about revamping your logo, making it more AI-like. It's not about all the bold colors that you can have. Well, boldness is good, but it doesn't have to be in your brand. And more posting. This is not what we're talking about today for the invisible brand. And maybe you're just going, oh, thank goodness. Finally, somebody's not telling me to do more of these things. So what is it about? It's about being in the right rooms. Are you strategically going to the places where you can have the greatest impact? And the right things. Are you saying the right things? Are you presenting the right things? And the right people? Who are the people that are in these rooms with you? Who are you attracting? And what are you showing up to? Because have you ever noticed how some people, if you do a lot of networking and you're out and about, and especially when people don't have a lot of money, they're doing a lot of that. But have you ever seen someone like, oh my God, you're everywhere? Of course, you have to be everywhere to say that to them, right? But you think, gosh, you're everywhere. And don't you wonder, not of course about yourself, but about them, like, why? What are you doing? It almost dilutes your brand a little bit. It's like person who goes to every party. It's always like the last person out the door. Okay, go home. We have to clean up. So how are you positioned? This is strategic positioning, right rooms, right things, right people. Think about that. What are you doing with your brand? Okay, so here is the shift. It's a shift away from online presence to a strategic presence. That, it's like when you show up, it's like, oh, did you see who's here? Like a dignitary is here. That's kind of what you want to have happen when you walk into a room. That person owns that brand. Of course, they're not out every night because they have a real business and a real life. So how are you positioning yourself? Sort of that force mechanism of being out everywhere, or power where you just show up and power surrounds you. It's a whole different attitude, isn't it? So let's look at how this is different. The strategy of the invisible brand. Number one, radical utility. Like you're really, really careful about where you are, how you're placing things, how you are seen, and quiet dominance. You don't have to be everywhere out there. Even think about Apple. What an amazing brand. And why is there such loyalty? It's what I said in the beginning. It's about the feel, right? It feels. But you don't see an ad every day online for Apple. No, it doesn't even need to. Yes, it has a huge marketing budget, but it uses power, right? And it pulls people in to their sites. It doesn't have to be out there running an ad every day. Make sense? Now think about that from your brand. How can you position your brand in a position of power versus force? What you want to do is this. Build this. This is a moat. You need a moat around your castle. Your business is your castle, but you need a competitive moat so nobody can step into that. And there are ways that you can build that. One of the ways is to have a very unique IP, your own intellectual property. So if you're in a red ocean and there's so many people doing what you do, and it is hard to stand out, and you look at competitors and you're like, ew, I am not saying anything different than they are. Then you need to build a moat. If you need some help with a moat, just click a moat down below. Come to our website, iconicbusinessadvisors.com, and book an appointment and just hop on the call for 10 minutes. And we'll point out in 10 minutes exactly what you need to do to build this invisible brand, because you'll work a lot less and you will make a lot more. So you need to build this, not this. Not a huge megaphone shouting out to the world, hey, look at me, I'm over here, now I'm over here, now I'm over here. You know who those people are? Those are also the ones that 2 years ago they did this, and then now today they're doing this, and guess what? In a year and a half, they're going to be doing a whole other business. And you're wondering, why can't you stay with one thing? Because they don't focus on singularity, being the absolute best, focusing on excellence in one thing, right? And when we talk about SOAR, that's our model for business, the SOAR formula, and the S stands for singularity, being really singularly focused. People with power are known for one thing, right? Warren Buffett is known for investing. That's his one thing. So what is your one thing? We know Apple made their millions and billions starting the clock back and starting over, clearing everything out, being known for one thing. So look at some of these iconic brands and figure out how you can do this with your own brand. So here's why this works. Number one, noise fatigue. There is so much coming at us, and you can 10x that with AI these days. It's like, oh my gosh, and how many people have multiple subscriptions to multiple AIs, and they're still not even figuring out how to use it because they don't have a strategy, right? It's the strategy, right? It's like a couple years ago during an election, someone said, it's the economy, stupid. Well, it's the strategy, sweetheart. So noise, there's too much noise out there. You need to break through that. There's also a trust recession. Nobody is just blindly trusting anymore. People now, the deep fakes are getting people left and right. Have you fallen for one yet? And you're like, I so thought this was true. I fell for one last night. When I was in the fashion industry, and one of the famous designers I worked with was this big documentary on her. And I'm like, it wasn't even her pictures. It wasn't even her. It was all deep fake. Okay. So people don't trust so much. So when you are doing this pull attraction activity of power, you can get around that, right? And let people know what you stand for. And of course, executive leverage. How are you positioning yourself? Make sure you're in the right places at the right times and not subjecting yourself to overexposure. Okay. So think about this now. Isn't this kind of contrarian to how you've been told recently? And there are brands that can be out there and in your face and do great. Yes, but not if you want to be positioned as an elite brand where you have little competition, where you can get out of the red ocean and into the blue ocean. Here's another reason why you have to think about this right now is because the economy is shrinking. When an economy shrinks, guess what goes up? The cost of attention. It gets very expensive to get attention when the economy is down. And if everybody is out there making noise, guess what? You are going to win by being able to be invisible, by pulling back in your own way. And so how this works is, what are you going to do here? Reputation architecture. How are you going to architect your reputation? What are you going to be known for? This is going back to, what is your IP? What is your singular focus? Like, we are known. A lot of people come to us and say, yeah, I really need to grow my brand. I need the money. I need the income. And if I want to take this business and add another 6 or 7 figures in a year and do it very quickly without bottlenecks, you come to us, right? 6 to 7 figures in a year, 4 simple steps. Okay. What's your reputation architecture? What are you known for? And strategic visibility. Where are you going to show up? Think about this a lot. Like maybe when you were in college and high school, it really mattered what parties you went to. And this is the same way. Where are you going to be seen? And then asset architecture. Asset stacking. So how are you going to use your assets, and how are you using them the right way? Let's dive into that a little bit further. So where are you known as a leader? And thought leadership is important, especially now with a lot of AI. Can you use AI to kind of curate some content and become really good at it? But no matter how much you curate, you really have to dive deeper, not broad, into a certain topic, so people know that that's your zone of genius. That's that level where there's very few people that can compete with you. That's building thought leadership. Now, the partnerships. Who could you partner with? Maybe there are other strategic partners that you could work with. They could refer business to you, but also who could elevate your brand a little bit more? Right? How could you look at all the people you deal with, all the customers you have, and think, well, who do they go to? Right? How could you go up level rather than swimming downstream all the time and catching the crumbs at the bottom? Who's a little bit higher up there that you could partner with, and that allows you to get in the door faster because you're one of the first people that they come to. Everybody has what we call an event chain, right? There's a series of events that people go through when they want to buy something. And the higher up on that chain you are, right? You are not a bottom feeder. You want to be the top, right? This is the king of the jungle. And so partnerships matter. And then your results. Are you getting real results? Are people really achieving something? Or do you just have a really slick process and a slick offer, but it doesn't work? And people try it and then they are so embarrassed, they just kind of zip their mouth and go home. But if they don't have a transformation, why would they go to you, right? They just don't want to become somebody that's in your incubator, just learning. Okay, unless you're brand new. But you want to get to the point you're out of incubator stage, you're more in accelerator and transformation phase. And that is where you can be more of an invisible brand. So fortunately, you don't have to worry about selfies and all these stories and things like that. Okay. So yes, I took something off your plate, and I could really go, phew, don't have to do those anymore. Okay. So when we're talking about this invisible brand, this is what it's not. It is not about putting on a different mask. People take that the wrong way and they think invisible. Okay, now I have to act all cool or act like I'm a leader or act like I'm this. Forget this act as if. Just be it. right? Be excellent at what you're good at this level, and then come to another level and be excellent, and then another level. But get rid of the mask, because all it does is seed in imposter syndrome. It's very hard to break. I hope this is making sense, because you've probably been through all these stages and you're wondering, why am I still working so hard? I'm overwhelmed. I'm spinning my wheels. I feel guilty when I take time off, and I'm certainly embarrassed by how much or how little money I'm making. So this is why I'm saying stop with the masks. Don't do this anymore. Make 2026 a no mask year, okay? But this is it. Getting in the brain, right? You guys know I love this part of it, right? I'm always working on the consciousness of the leader, because that determines the growth of the company. So let's dive deep into the psychology behind this and 3 reasons why this really will work for you, okay? So one of them is scarcity. And you hear this all the time. In fact, it's a mechanism of advertising, isn't it? Right? So the less visible something is, the more exclusive it is. Like, oh, there's only a few of these. Only a couple people have these, right? When I bought a Porsche, I really wanted a blue one. And a couple of dealers would say, oh, we have the last blue one. And I thought, oh, I should really get it because it's the last one. Well, that's because nobody wants blue, and they made very few of them. It wasn't because it was so prized, okay? But they positioned it with that way. No, I didn't buy a blue one. And the next thing is mystery, okay? So what's not explained invites curiosity. Have you ever met someone that kind of holds things a little closer to the vest, and they're like, yeah, they don't tell you everything, or I did something interesting, but you're just like, oh, really? What is it? What is it? And they lean in. That's what you want people to do. Don't put everything out there again, right? Just a little bit. We like to say, show a little leg, but only up to the knee, okay? So just a little bit, but hold some things back, right? And then authority. Right? This is that quiet confidence that signals mastery. You know how sometimes you might be in a big party, a big event, or something like that, and there are people that are very boisterous, and they're out there, and they're big personalities, and there's some other people, they just draw people to them, and they hardly say a word, right? And every time you're around these people, they feel so amazingly good to be around. Why? Because you're doing all the talking, right? They don't have to. What these people do is they're great listeners, and your brand needs to start listening more socially than it needs to be talking socially. There's great power in listening, and it's an art, right? And some of the best people in the world are great listeners. So what that still does is elevate your authority, okay? And you can also have quiet authority through books, right? All of the consultants that work with us, we help them get a couple books out. If you don't have a book out, come talk to me. We've done classes on it. We have the the class, you can write a book in 13 weeks, you yourself, not AI. There's a big difference between you writing it and an AI writing it. And so these are different ways you can build authority silently and visibly, but without having to, move your mouth so much. Okay. So what do you want to do now? Okay. Right now, you want to stop chasing visibility. Just think about it. Pull back. Use this time of the year to pull back and say, okay, this year didn't go as well as I thought. What could I do next year to make it even better? And how could I use the invisibility factor instead of visibility factor to make more money? And when we built our brand, I was very invisible, and I didn't have the money to make it very visible. And when we went from 0 to 1.4 million in 9.5 months, I didn't use any ads. Why? I didn't have the money. That's one, right? But I found I didn't need it. I found ways to be privately invisible, right? To invite people to my koi pond rather than going out into the wild ocean. Okay. And there's a model around that. We can teach it to you. We've done some classes on it and some shows on the lake and the pond and the ocean, and how you want to build your own pond rather than staying out in the great ocean. Okay. And then you also want to look at building assets that speak louder than your voice. Where those are these power assets, power documents like books, really good case studies, white papers. It's getting other people to talk about you as well, rather than just always being about you. All kinds of things like this that you can use. Like you might be a sponsor at a very elite event, right? That's a partnership way that you can be sort of invisible, but you can actually magnetize more people to you because of that. Oh, yeah, you sponsored that. Oh, okay. So, do you see how this is working? So, what you want to do is you want to ask yourself right now, where am I known and what am I known for? See, your authority is not just what you say about yourself, but what other people say about you. What are you known for? And have you ever done a survey and asked people, what do you know about me? What do you think about my brand? What do you think we're experts or specialists in? It'll be really interesting. It's a little like Googling yourself, right? And what comes up? Sometimes it's like, oh my gosh, that's still there. Yes, everything is out there. That's why I say be careful what you do online, especially in video. So where are you known? Okay. So if you want to be known, but you don't want to have to do all that hard work and climbing, 14,000-foot mountains just to get a little bit of visibility. Or if you're just starting off and you just don't even know how to get that visibility that you need, right? It doesn't take a lot, but you have to build the right brand. You have to have your own IP. You have to have a strategy. And that's where we want to come in for you. So go to callconnie.com. It's 10 minutes. I can't sell you anything in 10 minutes. Don't bring your wallet. All right. You're going to book a call. We are going to strategize a plan together, and we're going to use our proprietary software as well as our knowledge of working with thousands of brands and build a unique strategy for you. No cookie cutters. All right. And then you can take that strategy and go off and do it, or you can use us and partner with us and help you do that. But either way, your business is going to skyrocket. So this is something I want you to think about as you're looking at this time of the year and you want to plan right now. If you haven't set your goals and your plans and your strategies for next year, now is the time to do it. Do not wait till January 1st. Don't say in January, I'm going to hire a coach. You do this. Do it right now. Okay, you will be so far ahead of anybody. If you're waiting till January, you're technically starting in March. Now is the time to figure out, how could I become invisible? Now, I want you to be visible next week because we're going to be back here at 5 o'clock every Tuesday, all through the holidays. We have been here every single Tuesday for, this is going on our 7th year. So we have a new YouTube channel. I want you to subscribe because we're going to fill it up just like the previous one. And I can't wait to see you back here next week. Go be awesome, be iconic, and enjoy your week.